I started 20 years ago, but I started with machine. And it's very later on that I arrived to the point to the handpoke techniques. I mean, I start to use like this with a chopstick because I think you have a better handle. Sometimes I do just with a needle that I bend and you're holding it like this. It's just, then you have just a pressure point to your fingers, so sometimes you get numbs, but otherwise it works also very good because you feel like the whole needle and the needle bar on your fingers. But yes, just take a piece of wood basically and just tape it, wrap it up for the hygiene part, and then that's it. And then when you feel it's good in your hand and it's steady, let's go. We evolved so much in the scene, arrived to amazing pieces, like there's art, but I think my introduction to tattoo was nothing about that. I just saw an old man who just had the blue stuff on his arm, and I loved it. That's why I came into the handpoke part, because I wanted to find back the rawness of it, just for what it represents. Sometimes I think people are getting too up-nose with the artistic way, which is great because it brings the scene in a nice part. But I think we tend to forget that where also tattoo come from sometimes. And it's still tattoo and it's still a mark. So that's why I try to move a bit towards that point. My work is different because I do most of the time collage and more intricate stuff than with machine. And then I love to do this handpoke stuff, which the whole story is like I brought that because I made up this design as a flash series because I hold like the old, logo and stuff from 1900s. And my idea was just, this was mainly 1900s or looked like 1900s, but that back in time it would have done that way because the machine was not affordable for everyone. So it would have done by hand. And this is what I wanted to get. I wanted to get the look that it should have back in time. Not because I wanted to do handpoke or get good at it or whatever, just because I wanted this design look like as it would have looked. I think people now is interested by this because it's the next trend. I think we pushed so much the level in 10 years. Like we saw just like, fuck, we couldn't even think it was possible to do it with machine or whatever. It's every cycle, same for music. When you reach a point of being so good, you need to kind of go backwards at the roots of it. So I think that's why they get interested, not because of the technique or not because of what it is, just because to bring it back the kind of where it's from. Japanese is kind of different because it's very ancestral, like technique, tebori, and those people are like master. They're learning for a long time, then they're drawing, then they're not able to touch needle for a long time. So it's not the same process, and I believe I might maybe look at Joker from that part. It's just for me where I'm from Europe, or history there, probably also in the state, or like from people from the military stuff or prison or stuff like this, or you will have to be just by hand, whatever technique you use with chopstick or whatever thing, you will have the same stuff, just gather needles together and then doing by hand. So most of the time I would use like a filler and a liner, and then I get fancy to get like a tiny one to just, sometimes correct some point that you cannot really do it or they are not reachable with this needle. It's kind of the same with the machine, just you gain time to, just either blacken or make colors or just crisp line. Yeah, the whole stuff about the red stencils definitely work better on dark skin. I don't know if you've seen it on dark skin, like the purple one, like you get messy and shiny, and then after, but even when you just finish to put it, you just see nothing on it. So with the red, it works better, and it works even better on pale skin because when you tattoo, you see exactly what you're doing. Sometimes you tattoo over the purple and then he's not really filled up, but you can't really see it because you still see the darkness of the stencil under it. So with the red one, you see when you're in or not in. Handpoking to me is getting a tattoo that's a deeper meaning. When you're able to get the tattoo and poke, and you definitely sure will get a grain, it will get different. You just want to have the mark and just needed to go through something, get something stronger or whatever. You know what I mean? The technique is not the same. You don't do for a piece of art, you do for more a need of something to go through.